Wait! This sequence seems familiar. Yellow, red, green, blue, black, white. I suppose it's time to stop keeping you waiting and see what the fuss is really about with this floating thing in the middle on Chrono. We step up to the middle, and Bellis is with us now. And it glows. You see it pulsating with life. Eyes appear, and it unwinds itself to reveal the shape of a flame. So this is the true Frozen Flame. Struth. Oh yes, I did also change my text box frame. Hold on, don't touch it. Of course, Kyle gets too close and then his head starts hurting and everything goes white. Suddenly Kyle finds himself back down. Is everyone okay? Everyone is indeed okay. Bugger you. Us humans ain't gonna let you have your way any longer. Come on, show your bloody self. Oh, right. The plasma monstrosity. In order to survive, all living things in this world fight desperately and devour those they defeat. Must one kill other living things in order to survive? Must one destroy another world in order to allow one's own world to continue? The wounded in turn wound and torment those weaker than they themselves are. There are only the killers and the killed, the sinners who are judged, and the victims that do the judging. What meaning is there to such a world? Whether there's meaning to our lives or not, we still go on living, you know. You got no right to deny that. I shall cleanse this blue planet of you filthy humans once and for all. Ah yes. The dragon monstrosity. We have fought all of these dragons individually at one point or another, at least. But, things are a little different this time around. And there's a very good chance that I'm gonna take a couple tries to get this. This is the Time Devourer. Its current in it is white. What, did I say current in it? Yes, I did. Just focus for now on keeping people alive and getting your attacks up. Make sure you have element levels available to counteract anything it might do with trying to get the field a certain way or what have you. Plus, getting damage in with physical attacks is always a good way to start off a battle. Gives you options for later as well. Comes around, it's gonna hit Kyle now. I'm glad specifically that he's focusing on Kyle and Chad with these attacks. Because they're the beefier ones in terms of health. I'm going to continue to attack up with Kyle at least, because he is not a good init color to deal with this. I am, however, going to straight up free fall with Nala. And you'll notice, I don't know if I've pointed this out before, I don't know how many battles we've had with the Chrono Cross here, You get a little orb in the upper corner showing you the last element color cast. And you get a sound. Remember the sequence. It's going to come into effect sometime before the end of the game, I promise. And no element being shown, but definitely is a power-up going on. Sweeps over, hits us all. Thankfully is not able to one-shot us all, because that would really suck. Chad is having issues. I thought I had the scope equipped, but dang is he having issues. Ah, yes. See, when you get the freeze that looks as though it's a boss killed, we get this warp opened up, and we get sucked in. The Time Devourer doesn't, but don't worry, we meet him here. Now, you might remember this from when we fought the Earth Dragon, and you'll notice the init color is now yellow. So we can think of this as basically the Time Devourer kind of emulating the different parts of it. So for this, the Time Devourer is emulating the Earth Dragon. It's going to get yellow elements, etc. So this is going to be a spot where having Nala up high on elements will really help, but she's also going to be very vulnerable to its attacks with elements like Uplift, which thankfully is not focused on Nala, but instead on Kyle, where it's doing 0 damage. It doesn't, contain itself to just these singular colors of elements, though. It will cast a certain sequence. Yellow, red, green, wait, this sequence seems familiar. Yellow, red, green, blue, black, white. That's right. It just casts the first 3 elements in the sequence for the Chrono Cross series. So, for the series we heard back there, that is being shown in the Chrono Cross, which they've told us has the power to bring stuff together, so something might happen if we're able to get all that going. So, yellow, red, green, blue, do you have a low-level black element? Of course you don't. Black. And then I'm gonna attack up with Kyle. Nala should have a white element. An attack. Get over to Nala. Not the revive. Meter it'll work. Do that. And then see if we can do something with the Chrono Cross. So yellow, red, green, blue, black, white. Chrono Cross. Effects unknown. Seems nothing happened. But keep that in mind. You'll also notice how it shows up on the field as like a multicolored thing. We haven't really heard much about the Chrono Cross itself and what it does. The effects are unknown. We don't really know when we should be using it, but you'll notice that it's now casting the second half of that sequence. Blue, black, and the next element it casts should be white. And they're all low levels. So this is really setting us up to do something with the Chrono Cross. And we had all of those elements, in a row, so obviously there's something weird going on. We can't just use the Chrono Cross again because we already used it as an element. So, we'll just have to wail on the Time Devourer with all we got. Taking advantage of... apparently nothing. Here we go. Taking advantage of the white, the neutral field to heal up everybody. Get people at least up to, high 400, or high, low 400s. Null can't go any higher than low 400s, but high 400s, if not 500 for Kyle and Chad. Beat up Time Devourer a little bit more. Get some of its physical attacks, which honestly hurt less than some of the dolls. And with that, it does again the end of battle freeze and moves on to the next place. So, with my failure with the Chrono Cross, you're probably getting the hint that you shouldn't use the Chrono Cross at that point. But it is a really cool thing to just be able to see the effect at this point, which is why I wanted to bring it, put it on Kyle and bring it in here to show you. Then, beat up a little bit more. It's currently red in it, so this is gonna hurt. And also, I would like to point out that if you ever forgot the sequence, I don't know how you can ever forget the sequence, because it is going to tell you the sequence about 5 million times during the course of this fight. We've got, let's see, first there were the lights, then there was the fact that we went yellow and then red with dragons. There was the element chain that it went, and now we started... It starts with the one that it's at, but red, green, blue, those are the next 3 in the series. So, is going to consistently remind you of this series. It is going to ingrain this series into your head until you can't possibly forget it. So yeah, they're not gonna let you forget about it quite so easily. That's okay, we're gonna wreck the sequence a bit. I don't think it'll mind. Mostly because the Chrono Cross didn't work when we tried it. I'm sure there's a reason for that, and I'm sure we'll go over it later. Like I said, mostly, especially since Chad's running it, I'm just gonna have him attack up, because things like this could happen. And I could be angry. Oh, thank goodness. That is by far, the Hellsoul and Hellbound are the worst elements in my opinion, because they seem to work for the enemy much more often than they ever work for me. And I mean, they're great in the fact that they insta-kill, but they never seem to insta-kill for me, so really, they're not doing much of anything. Ice Blast. Perfect time to use it. Got a red in it. I have an Ice Blast +4, might as well make use of it. And with that, move on to the next set. Which, yellow, red, green, we should be moving to Gaia's Navel and the Green Dragons arena, which we see we have. So again, remember the sequence. Never forget the sequence that they don't let you get 5 seconds to forget. Which honestly is good, because if you haven't noticed it at this point, you might realize that it... At some point, I would hope that it sinks in that it keeps doing this in these things in similar orders. Ah, crap. This is gonna sting a little. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take advantage of my green field and then immediately get rid of my green field. I have a heal plus. We're healing Kyle. And then we are instantly changing the field with Chad. Hi. Yes, perfect. Uplift. I don't care if it does 0 damage, I just care that it changes my field. So, the one thing, I am going to go back to when I cast the Chrono Cross, and I just want to talk about the one thing that I want to point out. is that I just showed that it is very possible to do that with low-level elements. If it starts the sequence for you especially, it is very easy for you to finish it and set up a Chrono Cross cast with that sequence. Again, assuming that sequence does anything, but considering the Chrono Cross has the colors and the music, it's a good chance that that's what we're supposed to use it with. Of course, you know, I have played this game before. I might know what I'm talking about. For the most part, just gonna have Nala attack up because, again, wrong init color for this. I am gonna have Chad drop another uplift for the purpose of shifting the field away from the green dragon's favor. Although I'm sure it'll do some shifting itself. Green, yellow, red, green, so blue, black, white should be the next 3 on the sequence. Or green, blue, black, depending. Or we'll just move on. We can move on. I'm okay with that. So now we're heading yellow, red, green, blue. We should be heading to Water Dragon Isle. This is also a really cool tour of every place that we've been so far. You know, we've been all these places when we fought the dragons themselves, but now we're getting a chance to, and again, pointing out blue element, or blue in it, we're getting a chance to revisit these places that, you know, we didn't necessarily get to spend tons of time in, but they're gorgeous, and I appreciate getting the ability to come back and see these all again. Okay, it's about to sweep over us. Okay, that hurts, but it's nothing we can't handle. Specifically with a recoverall. A recoverall, thank you. Funny enough, my white init character has the fewest recoveralls, I think. I think he just has that one. Chad's got 3, Nala's got at least 2. I was buffing them up for fighting something else. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was definitely buffing them up for fighting something else. You know, now is the time to start laying down my red elements, taking advantage of the fact that I have a red init in the party, and get Chad casting something pretty high level, like, for instance, Salamander would be nice. Don't mind me. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna go with his level 7 tech skill, because level 7 tech skill. But, you know, this could also just work, and we'll just Salamander. So, if you have the field elements, use them. They're gonna be great. But they're also not necessary. You've seen that I actually haven't had anyone straight up die yet. It's been close, but no one has straight up died yet. And we're already on blue. Probably soon going, yep. Probably soon shifting. We are now shifting over to black. So you see we're already a decent way through the cycle, at least. And I do believe it has to take a certain amount of damage to cycle on to the next. So we're now on Marbule. Gosh, I love the scenery on Marbule. It's so good. I think my best bet at this point, cast a white element, neutralize my field, get everyone back with at least a little bit of stamina. Because there was no way Nala was going to be able to bounce everyone up. I don't think she was going to be able to bounce anyone up. So it's in my best interest to do that and get everyone, you know, in positive stamina. Ow. I'm glad that was a neutral field at least. And then just start building those element levels back up. Because that's really all I can do right now. You know, with 0 element power for everyone. Kyle is packing a punch here. And we're holy lighting. Nala might be dead. It is a neutral field and he has a black in it, so there's a chance. There's a chance she survives, which she did. And I'm going to take advantage of that fact. Oh, he does have 2 recoveralls. Perfect. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this black in it just cast a white element. And also cast a white element for healing. I'm going to attack up with Nala. So my goal right now, I'm not going to try and get a summon off with Kyle. But my goal right now is just to get Kyle back up. His level 7 would be great. But honestly, I'll take what I can get. Oh no. Okay. I haven't had to use a revive yet, so if this kills Chad, then so be it. I have my full revival still. Which, okay, did a decent amount of damage, but did not kill him. We can live with this. Or we could poke and be done. Okay, fine. Don't let me use my level 7 tech. I didn't want to do it anyway. Gosh. So, on to the last of the dragons that we fought. The white in it. Oh right, we can't go to Sky Dragon Isle in this world. Huh. That's right. We're back to where we were at in the beginning with the Time Devourer. All systems go. Heal all. Everyone but Kyle needs it. Chad really needs it. So get him at least partially back up. Perfect. And just start beating up on the dragon. It's just kind of where we're at this point. The dragon conglomeration needs to die. Basically, high level, anything but white elements is where I'm going at this point. If we move on and start the cycle again, then so be it. But I'm going to see if I can't finish it before we start cycling. Hi. Oh, of course you're fatigued. Well, depending on how much damage this does. And not quite worth the holy healing. Attack up. Kyle, what do you have high up on your list? Ah, Inferno, perfect. Get some more red elements on the field. Get Chad back up to level 5, I think, for his tech skill. He's already used his level 7, but getting his level 5 up would not be bad. Nala's the only one fatigued now. Good, good. And because it takes extra to do anything, little one attack with Chad and mystery menu. Added bonus of healing him up. Then take advantage. Everyone should have Infernos in general, so I'll take advantage of that. To not take advantage of that because the Time Devourer is shifting into Plasma. Talk about nightmare fuel. And almost fittingly, no victory music plays. The battle's definitely done. We did it. Like, we're getting new element slots and everything, and what have you, but Earring of Hope, hey, that'll be really good to have a Nala. But no music's playing. Now I shall truly awaken again. This too is destiny. You mean we haven't even been fighting the real thing? Well, bugger. That thing, the dragon god, is only a quasi-existence. A temporary form that the real dragon god uses in order to appear within this dimension. The actual dragon god was consumed long ago in the distant past, integrated by the entity known as Lavos in a time on the other side of the dimensional darkness. The frozen flame is a splinter from the extraterrestrial being Lavos. The one who connected with the frozen flame, in effect, links with Lavos itself. As the mediator between Lavos and living things, that one will gain extraordinary powers. By binding with the new seed of destruction, the Devourer of Time. What in the blazes is a Devourer of Time? Well, I mean, I know you weren't fighting in the battle, Bellis, but didn't you read? Now go to the place where time became divided and weave the threads of time together again. Chrono Trigger. Wrong. Wrong game. Why does everybody keep messing this up? Like, you're supposed to be this big thing, Flame. You're supposed to know things. Anyway. The Devourer of Time is a new life form. Born out of the fusion of a life form from this planet with Lavos, who nests on the far side of the dimensional void. In the far-off future, when the fusion becomes complete, it will awaken. Then the Devourer of Time will begin to consume all space-time continua. Despair and hatred. To return all things to nothingness, that is what it desires. Here, take this with you. We received the Time Egg. I believe when we went to save Kid, Masamune and Doreen mentioned the Time Egg. Look closely. See that? Hey, it's the Time Egg? Yes, although it's not in its complete form. That Time Egg will enable you to travel beyond space-time. The world is in your hands. Go, release the life that is imprisoned. Well, now it starts to make sense why we couldn't starts to make sense why maybe, the Chrono Cross didn't work. I missed a chest? Gosh dang it. I missed a chest. Oh well. Back to what I was saying. It makes sense that we couldn't... The Chrono Cross didn't seem to have any effect. Even though, it shows the things that the sequence showed and we did with the sequence, it was just a plasma form, so I guess that could explain a lot. Cripey, what in bloody hell's happening? This place is going to crumble to pieces. And everybody but Kyle runs, and then finally Kyle's like, oh right, I'm supposed to be running too. Right. And with that, Terra Tower, filling with water that a plasma life form somehow made appear more of? I'm not really sure how that happened, but okay. Falls to the sea. Terra Tower rose, and now Terra Tower has fallen. And water starts spurting out of it. I think it's a little waterlogged. But also starts getting this weird shimmer to it. The stone appears almost covered with algae, I think? I don't know, but it's definitely changing. And wings... The wings that were there before spread, and a new pair of wings forms. And a head rises. It looks like a super buff dragon. Like, that head is way too tiny for the rest of that body. Tell me I'm wrong. That head is way too tiny. So that's Terra Tower's final true form. In the end, we're all the same. Everyone dreams of being greater, more powerful. We've come this far. All that remains is to defeat the Devourer of Time. Once we wipe the Devourer of Time off the face of this planet, it's all over. Hopefully everything will go back to normal again. Yes, because there's definitely a normal to go back to. You're wrong. Things won't ever go back the way they were. Destiny, fate, is dead. From now on, us humans have to choose our own way in life. We also have to take responsibility for the choices we do make. And something's got to be done about the way we go on hurting and killing one another. We've got to settle our differences once and for all. Listen, what's really important is what we do now. The issue ain't whether we defeat that bastard or not. I'm afraid that, depending on how we go about it, we could lose out on gaining something real precious. So the issue is the way we fight. So, where on earth is the real Devourer of Time? My guess is the key to finding it lies at that beach. That's where this whole thing started. It'll also probably be where this whole thing will end. Where time was destroyed, it goes back together. Opasa Beach. So, I'm gonna take a moment here to quickly walk down at Opasa Beach and take a look. Go back down here, where angels lose their way, where the dimensions were joined in the first place, and fine. Homeworld Opasa Beach it is. Don't mind me as I spam my button to skip this cutscene because you see it way too many times when you play this game with Kyle as your main character. Well, that's different. There wasn't a child here before. Wait, this child looks familiar. All these children look familiar, and there's a portal. So we'll talk to them one at a time. So you finally made it, Kyle. When did this sorry tale all begin? Was it 10 years ago, when you almost drowned here? Or was it 14 years ago, when you were wounded by that panther demon that attacked you, resulting in you being carried to Chronopolis, where you came into contact with fate and the frozen flame? Or perhaps it was even 2,400 years in the future, when the time crash hurled Chronopolis back to prehistoric times. Or even it could have been 12,000 BC, when an ancient magical kingdom met its end after trying to use Lavos? Each is close to being correct, and at the same time so far from the right answer. The true beginning was during the destruction of the ancient kingdom of Zeal. As the palace collapsed around her, Princess Shala was sucked into a dimensional vortex along with the Lavos Mammon machine. Shala and Lavos became unified into one even more powerful entity that would evolve into the Devourer of Time. So Shala is in the Devourer of Time, with Lavos. Filled with the hatred and sadness of Lavos, half of Shala's mind became set on destroying all of existence. Yet at the same time, the other half of her mind desired to save the universe and to be rescued herself. As Shala fell through the time gate in this condition, she heard your crying echoing through time. That is when her story and yours began to intertwine. It is also when the past and the future began to intersect, and when the world became divided into two. Led by the pitiful crying the young Kyle made as the panther demon's poison took hold of him, Princess Shala traveled 10,000 years in time to try to make contact with this dimension. This caused a raging magnetic storm that resulted in Fate's system malfunction, which led Kyle to the frozen flame. Yes, Kyle, the sound of your crying touched the heart of Princess Shala. Before the destructive mindset could become dominant, she cloned herself and sent her copy into this dimension. Shala left her baby daughter clone with her ancient pendant, possessing magical powers. You mean magical powers like dimension hopping? This was to safeguard her daughter clone in life and death situations. The pendant would rewind time a little, sending her daughter clone into a safer point in the immediate past. Either way, nothing changes who you've become. You're still my precious little sister, Bellis. And now, about Project Kid, the time control project Balthazar planned out. The whole project existed to lead you to this one special point in time. The founding of Chronopolis, the time crash, and the battle between Fate and the Dragon Gods. It was all coordinated so that you would get your hands on the Chrono Cross and come to this place. Of course, Bellis was not to know anything about this whole plan until later, when all this will finish. Further into the future, Bellis is meant to travel back 10 years in time from now to save Kyle from drowning. And then Bellis was also meant to call Kyle into the other world as he spoke with Renoa here on Opasa Beach. You're our last hope, our final chance. Only you, who came into contact with Shala, and Bellis, Shala's clone daughter, can do it. In the darkness that exists on the other side of time, Shala has been integrated with the Devourer of Time. Please, Kyle, release Princess Shala from the binds of that monster and her own hatred. Show us, the life forms that exist on this planet, what our new future will be. with that, I'm gonna actually head off of Opasa Beach. Because if you hadn't guessed from what's going on, that's really gearing up for the final fight. And I did mention that I had a couple things left to do on my list. I promise it's not a full episode's worth. Or at least it's not 2 episodes worth. It should just be a couple things to do. This is the point. This is your last stand, your last point to get all your items set up, all rainbow items forged you need, anything like that. So take the time now to go through and set yourself up for your last fight. Next time, we'll do a couple side questy things, and then we'll see about getting back into the main story and our final fight. See you then.